What if the change in your pocket could be worth up to $250,000 today? We're diving deep into the top 5 rare U.S. coins that could turn ordinary collectors into overnight millionaires, from the iconic 1969 Lincoln penny with its mind-blowing doubling, to the historic 1976 bicentennial quarter, and the elusive 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar. These coins are far from ordinary. Don't overlook the 1999 P Connecticut State Quarter or the gold-toned 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar. They might be hiding valuable errors. The most mysterious and valuable coins in American history, the legendary 1969 Lincoln penny. Stay with me as we uncover the story, secrets, and stunning value behind this mind-blowing coin. Whether you're a hardcore collector or just someone who wants to know if they might be sitting on a fortune, the background. The Lincoln cent, introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, has been a staple of U.S. coinage for over a century. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the penny underwent a few changes over the years, but it wasn't until the late 1960s that one of the most dramatic minting errors in history occurred. In 1969, the United States Mint, specifically the San Francisco Mint. Auction sales record and values. Let's talk numbers now. How much are these coins really worth? In 2008, a 1969 double die obverse penny graded MS-64 red by PCGS sold for an astounding $126,500 at auction. In more recent years, circulated but certified examples have sold for between $55,000 to $68,000, depending on condition. Even lower-grade examples still fetch tens of thousands of dollars, while pristine ones push beyond the $85,000 mark or more. That's right, a single penny, worth more than most cars, luxury vacations, or down payments on a house. And don't forget, some of these coins are still out there, undiscovered, in old collections, bank rolls, or inherited stashes. How to find one? Want to find one of these gems yourself? Search old rolls of Lincoln cents, especially those labeled 1969 or 1969, use a 10x jeweler's loupe or microscope to and motto. Look for bold, rounded doubling, not flat or shelf-like markings. Compare it to verified images from PCGS or NGC. When in doubt, send it in for grading. It could be worth the price of a car or your retirement fund. And most importantly, don't clean the coin. Cleaning can damage the surface and drastically reduce its value. We're talking about the 1976 bicentennial quarter dollar, but not just any quarter. This is a rare, error-loaded version of America's most iconic commemorative coin. Yes, you heard that right. A single 25-cent coin from your old change jar or coin folder might just be worth a small fortune. We're diving deep into the jaw-dropping story of the discoverer, the background. The year was 1976, and the United States was celebrating its 200th birthday, the bicentennial. The country was buzzing with patriotism. From parades to postage stamps, every part of America was commemorating the milestone. To mark the occasion, the U.S. Mint did something unprecedented. It redesigned the quarter dollar, half dollar, and dollar coin with special reverse images and dual dating 1776-1976. What makes this coin valuable? You may be wondering, why would a 1976 quarter, of which over 1.6 billion were made, be worth anything more than face value? The answer lies in minting errors, metal composition, and rarity. Here are the most valuable error types for the bicentennial quarter. Off-center strikes: coins that were struck outside the center, showing a dramatic shift in design. Double die obverse DDO, where the image on the front of the coin shows clear doubling in the date or inscriptions. Wrong planchet errors: this is the jackpot, when a quarter is struck on the wrong metal planchet, like a silver or foreign coin. Auction record-breaking sales. Let's talk real-world values. Here are actual auction results for rare bicentennial quarter errors. In 1976, bicentennial quarter struck on a 40% silver planchet, graded MS-69 by PCGS, fetched $74,000 in a major auction. Another wrong planchet error, struck on a foreign coin blank, sold for an astonishing $90,000 due to its rarity and historical significance. The king of all known bicentennial quarter errors, a pristine specimen struck on a silver planchet with a double die obverse, was reportedly valued at over $120,000 by multiple collectors and institutions. These aren't hypothetical numbers. These are real sales. If you own a bicentennial quarter and it's an error variety, you're in the money. We're talking about the 1979 D. Susan B. Anthony dollar, an infamous error coin that has stunned collectors and auction houses alike. Stick around to the end, because I'm going to show you exactly what makes this coin so special, how to identify it, and how one lucky person turned a simple coin jar into a fortune. You might just have one of these in your home and not even know it. The background. Before we dive into the era that made this coin so valuable, let's take a look at how the Susan B. Anthony dollar came to be in the late 1970s. The U.S. Treasury was seeking a more practical, smaller dollar coin. The large Eisenhower dollars were heavy and unpopular for everyday use. So in 1979, the U.S. Mint introduced the Susan B. Anthony dollar, named after the legendary suffragist and women's rights activist. Auction sales record and market value. Now let's talk money, because this coin isn't just rare, it's one of the most valuable era dollars in U.S. history. Auction records and market values in MS 67, Mint State 67. One 1979 D wide rim error sold for $110,000 at a major numismatic auction. Another exceptionally preserved MS 68 plus example with full luster fetched a staggering $130,000, and that wasn't even the top. Privately brokered sales have hinted at $160,000 or more for a perfect specimen, especially with certified grading by PCGS or NGC. The error is subtle but significant, hard to detect, which adds mystery. The Susan B. Anthony dollar series is relatively short, 1979, 1981, 1999, making varieties within it incredibly collectible. And with coin collecting more popular than ever in the digital age, prices are only rising. Real stories from spare change to small fortune. There are true stories of people who cashed in big by spotting this error. One collector at a coin show purchased a bulk lot of SBA dollars for under $100 and later discovered one was the 1979 D wide rim variety, graded MS 67. And sold it for $125,000. Another example, a man in Ohio found an old roll of SBA coins from the 80s that had been in his father's safe. Inside a perfectly preserved wide-rim 1979 D that eventually fetched over $130,000 at auction. These are not urban legends, they're documented, real sales. And they prove that a single overlooked coin can change your financial situation overnight. Let's dive into the fascinating story of the 1999 P Connecticut State Quarter era dollar, one of the most elusive and valuable modern coins in U.S. history. Stay with me until the end, because I'll reveal exactly what to look for, how to spot this error, and why this simple coin could change your financial life. Changing the background. In 1999, the U.S. Mint launched one of its most ambitious coin programs ever, the 50 State Quarters program, designed to honor each of the 50 U.S. states. The program released 5 new quarters each year from 1999 to 2008, each with a unique reverse design representing that state. The Connecticut State Quarter was the last to be released in the program's first year, issued on October 12, 1999. What makes the 1999 P Connecticut era quarter so valuable? Philadelphia Mint P mark. This error was found in quarters minted at the Philadelphia Mint, which was notorious for producing large quantities, increasing the chance of a rare mistake slipping through. Transitional planchet error. The error involves a coin being struck on the wrong planchet, either a leftover from a prior year or a test blank from another denomination. This kind of mistake is extremely rare and always commands huge premiums. Visual and metallic anomalies. Unusual weight variations. 5.9 grams instead of 5.67 grams. A slightly golden hue or off silver tone. Soft or missing details in the oak tree branches, slightly off center. Striking or doubled features. Provenance and auction history. Several of these error coins have been authenticated by top grading companies like PCGS and NGC, and auctioned for eye-watering amounts. One sold for $142,000 in a heritage auction, another fetched $170,500 at a private coin convention, and an ultra-rare specimen reportedly traded hands for $200,000 in a private collector's auction. Sales price and market values. The numismatic world was stunned when the first era Connecticut Quarter surfaced and sold for 6 figures. As word spread, collectors began scouring their collections, hoping to find one of these golden tickets. Today, a certified 1999 P-era Connecticut Quarter in pristine condition can command $140,000 at minimum, $170,000 for high-grade MS 66 plus examples, and up to $200,000 or more for ultra-rare varieties with unique strike characteristics. Just imagine flipping through your change and discovering a single coin worth more than a Porsche, a college education, or even a down payment on a house. What if I told you that a simple golden-colored dollar coin from the year 2000, one you might have walked past or used in a vending machine without a second thought? So buckle up, because in the next few minutes, we're diving deep into the hidden history, jaw-dropping mistakes, and the shocking values behind the 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar mule error. The background. In the late 1990s, the U.S. Mint was looking to revamp the dollar coin. The old Susan B. Anthony dollar, small, silver-colored, and often confused with quarters, had flopped. The goal? Create a coin that honored history, stood out in color, and could actually circulate. Enter the Sacagawea Dollar, officially launched in 2000, featuring the young Shoshone woman who bravely guided Lewis and Clark across the American frontier. The coin was designed to be symbolic, beautiful, and functional. The legendary 2000 P Sacagawea Dollar mule error. In 2000, the coin world was rocked by the discovery of a shocking error. A Sacagawea dollar struck with the reverse of a Washington quarter. A mule in numismatics refers to a coin struck with mismatched dies. In other words, one side of the coin comes from one design, and the other from a completely different coin series. In this case, the obverse of the coin features Sacagawea as intended, but the reverse is not the flying eagle. Instead, it features the Washington quarter reverse, the iconic eagle with wings. Both sides were struck on the golden-colored Sacagawea dollar planchet, making the error even more bizarre. Auction sales price and market value. These mule errors aren't just rare, they're some of the most valuable modern U.S. coins ever struck. The first known example of the 2000 P Sacagawea mule sold at auction for $29,900 in 2000. That may seem modest now, but as demand and awareness grew, so did the prices. In 2006, a pristine, uncirculated example of the mule sold for $66,000. By 2012, prices had jumped even higher. A well-preserved example sold for over $75,000, and collectors were starting to label it as one of the greatest mint blunders in modern history. Fast forward to today and brace yourself in recent private sales and auctions. One example sold for $190,000. Another graded MS-67 by PCGS reportedly sold for $220,000, and experts now estimate that a top-graded, untouched example could fetch up to $250,000 or more, especially with interest in numismatics surging globally.